What's going on, guys? Zach Sharps of LugoGaming.com here with my Batman Arkham Knight review. After this review, if you want to purchase Batman Arkham Knight for around $30, link is down below. Also make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Lugo Gaming. Now on to the review. Batman Arkham Knight by Rocksteady is the much anticipated conclusion of the renowned Arkham series. Let's go ahead and forget Origins, shall we? With his back up against the wall throughout the game, you play as Batman, who turns to his closest allies in order to save Gotham City. The game's main villains are Scarecrow, who of course is teamed up with the Arkham Knights, and with the Arkham Knight's real identity hidden from you until 11-ish hours into the game's main storyline, the game keeps you guessing on who he actually is. Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight's main goal is to not only destroy Gotham with a bioweapon, but also expose Batman as his true identity, Bruce Wayne, in order to show Gotham how powerless he actually is. Throughout the main storyline of the game, Batman is hammered left and right. Certain side villains like Harley Quinn, the Riddler, and Penguin try and get in his way, surprises hinder Batman like he's never been before, etc. Basically, Batman is taken to hell and back in the story of Arkham Knight, and it's executed very well. There are main twists, turns, and surprises which keep you constantly guessing what is around the corner. Even emotional moments are thrown into Arkham Knight and are timed beautifully. However, even though the main premise of the game is very good, it did annoy me at times how Batman seemed very incompetent at securing those he was after. This made me feel as though they wanted to pad the back half of the game in order to lengthen it just enough so people felt value in their purchase. This ultimately hurt the game's storyline as a whole though, because the pacing was thrown off majorly in the last 4 hours of the main storyline. It is no surprise that the presentation of Batman Arkham Knight is of the highest quality. From graphics to sound, you get a top-notch experience all around, that is, if you can run it. More on that in a little bit. Gotham City is the most beautiful it has ever been, with rain constantly dripping down all over your batsuit, fantastic lighting, great detail within the city, and gorgeous particle effects. The graphical fidelity of the Arkham series was taken to a whole new level in Arkham Knight. Sound-wise, the game is superb. Ken Conroy returns as Batman's voice actor, and even though his voice is a little bit different compared to the last Arkham game, he still nails his role to perfection. The supporting cast was superb as well. Harley Quinn had her high-pitched, squeaky voice we all know and hate. Robin sounded youthful as ever, played by Matthew Mercer. Jonathan Banks executed James Gordon's lines well, and who could forget John Noble, who was absolutely incredible as Scarecrow. The voice acting was that of a Hollywood film, superb and top-notch all around. The soundtrack of the game was great as well, providing tension in the most subtle moments and adding to the most epic parts of the game. Nick Arundel's soundtrack came through in the right moments, not overdoing it like some games. As with the soundtrack, the sound effects were also great as well. They provided weight to everything Batman did, adding the extra element to your actions needed to feel immersed in the game. Overall, the game's presentation from graphics to sound was absolutely spot on. The detail in Gotham City took my immersion to a whole new level. Packed with a fantastic voice acting, spot on soundtrack, and sound effects, the presentation is certainly one of Arkham Knight's strong suits. Batman Arkham Knight's gameplay is pretty much exactly like Arkham Origins, just with a few much needed enhancements and additions. As you level up as Batman or do side challenges in Arkham Knight, you gain skill points which can further enhance Batman's gadgets, armor, Batmobile, etc. These challenges make you glide for a certain period of time without touching the ground, silently take down enemies, etc. These side challenges are repetitious, mainly because they are cookie cutter. Luckily, you don't have to partake in them if you don't want to, but they do enhance Batman's powers, so they are advisable. Batman's utility belt contains a ton of gadgets, from the Batarang, explosive gel, electric charge gun, hacking device, and more. You'll find the standard array of gadgets expected in a Batman game. However, there is one tool not in the utility belt, which is a major addition in Arkham Knight: the Batmobile. The Batmobile is as epic as you would expect. Having two modes, driving and tank, you'll have a variety of reasons to utilize the popular vehicle. The most interesting mode, Tank Mode, allows you to fire a primary cannon to take down other tanks, a secondary fire to take down helicopters, special abilities which allow you to fire multiple homing missiles at one time, and even hack certain tanks in order to turn them against their teammates. There is a lot of firepower in this baby and a good bit of upgrades for it as well, which are periodically granted to you throughout the game. Hand-to-hand combat got an upgrade as well. Batman can now pick up weapons from the ground, utilize environments for sick knockouts, and more. Not to mention the team takedowns within Batman Arkham Knight are amazing. These of course require a teammate, which you'll encounter a few as you play through Arkham Knight. You'll be able to play as Robin, Catwoman, and more, which allows you to switch back and forth between yourself and the teammate seamlessly. Of course, with a teammate, this allows you to do those epic takedowns which I mentioned before, making boss fights an absolute pleasure to play. These moments in Arkham Knight are the best parts, mainly because they are executed to perfection. You may be asking yourself, why isn't the Batmobile the best part of Arkham Knight? Shouldn't it be? I mean, it's the main new feature in the game. Well, it is the most anticipated feature by far, but it falls short due to an overabundance of use. From the first hour of the game, guess what? You're inside the Batmobile. Throughout the rest of the game, you're about 50% in the Batmobile, 50% out of it. In the end, this makes the Batmobile a normality instead of something special. After about the first 8-ish hours of the game, the novelty wears off, something I thought was impossible. I never thought I'd feel as if too much Batmobile was a bad thing, but the team combat just felt too amazing, and sadly we didn't get enough of it due to Batman's "I'll do everything myself" mentality. An outright shame. In the end, the gameplay of Batman Arkham Knight is the same old, with a few enhancements to make it feel special enough to avoid an intense feel of repetition. However, near the end of the game, the novelty of the Batmobile wore off, and I felt as though the developers shoehorned it in constantly because it was the new and shiny feature, instead of making those moments feel very special. Especially with the team combat, which was spectacular and a pure thrill to play, but unfortunately those parts were way too few and far in between. I generally don't have to talk much about performance in games I review, but unfortunately Rocksteady decided to be very lazy and hand this PC port off to another small company. This small company was also in charge of Batman Arkham Origins, and guess what? They fucked up again. This time, way worse. The game on an i7 4770K processor, NVIDIA 980 GTX with 4GB DDR5 memory, and 16GB of 1600MHz RAM couldn't even utilize all the game's graphical features while maintaining a solid 30 frames per second. After about an hour, I decided to turn off all the game's NVIDIA GameWorks additions such as Enhanced Rain, Enhanced Lighting, and Enhanced Smoke, which allowed me a smooth 30 frames per second. Why 30 though? Why not that amazing PC Master Race 60 frames per second? In order to hide their terrible optimization even more, the small company behind the port decided to cap our frame rate to 30 frames per second. Once uncapped via going into the config, you start to see massive stutters, further showing how terrible this PC port is. Oh, and if you're on an AMD rig, don't even bother playing the game, just refund it and wait a year for it to be patched up. Yes, it's that bad of a port. So guys, with everything that I just went over, what would I give Batman Arkham Knight? Well, with its thrill ride of a storyline, even if I did predict who the Arkham Knight was, absolutely superb presentation, gameplay that was enhanced versus the last Arkham games, but was still repetitious due to the lack of team combat and overuse of the Batmobile, making it feel like a normality instead of something special, and the absolutely ridiculous performance issues forcing Rocksteady to stop all PC sales of the game on Steam, I give Batman Arkham Knight for the PC a 7.9 out of 10. That being said, if the performance issues are fixed down the line, that score would move up to an 8.3 out of 10. Rocksteady produced a great game overall, and I would certainly recommend it once the issues on the PC are ironed out, or if you're on the consoles, because apparently the consoles have zero issues. With all that said, guys, and another highly anticipated title reviewed, if you guys want to pick up Arkham Knight for around $30 on the PC, or other games for really cheap, link is down below. That being said, guys, if you enjoyed the review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Lugo Gaming. Also, be sure to hit me up on Twitter at Zach Sharps, Facebook at Lugo Gaming, and as always, signing out until the next video, my name is Zach Sharps, and I will catch you guys next time.